You were trying to cross the border, right? Walked right into that Imperial ambush, same as us. And that thief over there.
Damn you Stormcloaks. Skyrim was fine until you came along. Empire was nice and lazy. If they hadn't been looking for you, they'd have stolen that horse and been halfway to Hammerfell. You there, you and me, we shouldn't be here. It's these Stormcloaks the Empire wants.
We're all brothers and sisters in binds now, thief.
Shut up back there.
What's wrong with him, huh?
Watch your tongue. You're speaking to Ulfric Stormcloak, the true High King.
Ulfric? The Jarl of Windhelm? You're the leader of the rebellion. But if they've captured you... Oh gods, where are they taking us?
I don't know where we're going, but Sovngarde awaits.
No, this can't be happening. This isn't happening.
Hey, what village are you from, horse thief?
Why do you care?
A Nord's last thoughts should be of home.
Rorikstead. I'm from Rorikstead.
General Tullius, sir. The headsman is waiting.
Good. Let's get this over with.
Sure. Mara, Dibella, Kynareth, Akatosh, Divines, please help me.
Look at him. General Tullius, the military governor. And it looks like the Thalmor are with him. Damn elves. I bet they had something to do with this. This is Helgen. I used to be sweet on a girl from here. Wonder if Elod is still making that mead with juniper berries mixed in. Funny. When I was a boy, Imperial walls and towers used to make me feel so safe.
Where are they going?
To go inside.
Why? I want to watch the soldiers.
Inside the house. Now.
Yes, Papa.
Get these prisoners out of the cars. Move it!
Why are we stopping?
Why do you think? End of the line. Let's go. Shouldn't keep the gods waiting for us.
No, wait! We're not rebels!
Face your death with some courage, thief.
You've got to tell them! We weren't with you! This is a mistake!
Step towards the clock when we call your name. One at a time.
Empire loves their damn lists.
Ulfric Stormcloak, Jarl of Windhelm.
It has been an honor, Jarl of Ulfric.
Ralof of Riverwood.
No, I'll do it. I'll do it.
Lokir of Rorikstead.
No, I'm not a rebel! You can't do this!
Halt!
You're not gonna kill
I'm
me!
gonna go for Skyrim. Skyrim, what's the best class to build for Skyrim? Skyrim, what's the best way to build the best class?
Skyrim, what's the best way to build the best class?
Sup guys, Dimitri Vegas here. My brand new track, Two Times, together with Steve Aoki, is available now on TikTok.
What's up, squad? My name is ESO, and welcome to the channel where I show you all the best unique weapons and tips in Skyrim Remastered. In this video, I'll be going over the best possible race that you should pick in Skyrim Remastered and why. Now, there are a total of 10 races to choose from. So it's going to be a top 10 video, and this video is for both beginners and those of you who want to have the most optimized character for legendary difficulty. So either way, picking your race in Skyrim is one of the most important early decisions that you will make. And unless you're playing on legendary difficulty, I do suggest that you just pick what looks cool. But there are some races that do give you pretty awesome abilities and also access to certain areas of the game early. So that's what I want to go over in this video. I do suggest that you go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, if you want to see daily Skyrim Remastered guides. My channel is mostly based on Skyrim, and you can expect tons of upcoming tips and tutorials coming out soon. So let's go over the basics of the different races in Skyrim first. Each race will start with a different set of key skills. So for example, there's the Bosmer, also known as the Wood Elf, which starts with level 25 archery, but only has level 15 one-handed skill. And then there's an Orc on the other hand, which starts with level 20 one-handed skill. So all this really means is that certain racers will start the game with slightly higher skills than others. But this really doesn't make any difference whatsoever, because you'll actually level up your skills really quickly just by playing the game anyway. So what this means is that you should never choose a race just because they start with a slightly higher skill level than another race. Because after a few hours of playing the game, you will quickly realize that it doesn't actually make a difference. So with that aside, let's go over the top 10 races in Skyrim. Now please remember that some of these choices do depend on what character build you're playing, like an archer or a warrior. Overall though, you can play any race as any class you like. Nothing's stopping you. Ultimately, it's up to you to watch this video and make up your own decision. So in at number 10, starting off our list, we have the Red Guard. They have a rather useless ability to resist poison by 50%. Now this can be useful versus spiders and other creatures that you'll find in Skyrim, but to be honest, it's not going to be useful to you half the time. The Red Guard also has a unique power called Adrenaline Rush. Once activated, it makes your stamina regenerate faster for 60 seconds, but it can only be used once per day. Now if you did not know, we use stamina for sprinting, blocking and power attacks, so this ability is pretty solid. But at later levels when you have more stamina, it becomes less useful. And you can also actually get unlimited stamina by using a glitch, and I'll leave a link to that glitch guide down in the description below if you're interested. Overall, this race is quite a good choice for a shield and one-handed build, but it's definitely not the best. Next up, in the number 9 spot, we have the Bosmer, also known as the Wood Elf. Once again, they have a 50% resistance to poison, but they also get a 50% resistance to disease too. Now, resistance to disease is probably the most useless resistance in the game. It isn't really ever going to be useful to you at all. And if you do catch a disease, you can really easily cure yourself at a shrine or with a potion. Lastly, they have a unique power called the Command Animal. This power makes any animal an ally for 60 seconds, but again, it can only be used once per day. The power is quite useful though, but it becomes completely useless as soon as you unlock the Animal Allegiance Shout, which does the exact same thing, but you can use it once every minute. So once again, I probably wouldn't choose this class. Another drawback of this class is because the Wood Elf is the smallest character model in Skyrim, it also means that you're the slowest when running or walking around. So again, I probably wouldn't choose this class. Next up, at number 8, we have the Imperial. Now this race is rather interesting, but it does depend on your playstyle. The Imperial has a unique ability called Imperial Luck. This gives you double the chance of finding between 2 to 10 extra gold in chests, urns, or even enemies like bandits or Draugr. So if you're the kind of player who likes rummaging through absolutely everything you find and also looting it, you will get a lot richer over time with this ability. The Imperial also has a unique power called Voice of the Emperor. Once you use it, this will calm nearby people for 60 seconds. So basically, if you start a fight and then you use this ability, everyone will stop attacking you. But the ability can only be used once per day. But this power will work on anybody that is human, including vampires. It can really get you out of some tricky situations, but it's definitely not the best power available. Next up, in at number 7, we rather sadly have the Argonian. While they're one of the coolest looking races in the game, they're not really very good in Skyrim. They are definitely one of the most interesting choices though. Firstly, they have 3 unique abilities, and that's more than any other race. The first ability is the ability to breathe underwater. Now, this is obviously really useful when you need it, but the problem is you never really do need it. There are only actually a few places in the game where underwater breathing is going to be useful to you. And when you do need underwater breathing, you can just use a water breathing potion or even a spell. I really do wish there were more underwater places in Skyrim to explore, but there just aren't. Argonians also have a 50% resistance to disease, and once again, as I said before, it's pretty useless to you. The third ability Argonians have is +6 unarmed damage. Now this is actually pretty good, but what you'll find is that the Khajiit has double that. So if you're doing an unarmed damage build, you would not pick an Argonian. But lastly, the Argonian has a unique power called Hist Skin. This power actually makes you recover health 10 times faster for 60 seconds, and it can be used once per day. While it does obviously have its uses, you can effectively do the same thing by just using a health potion, which is not only faster, but you can also use it as many times as you like. So next in our list is number 6, and we have the Dark Elf in at this spot. This race has a 50% resistance to fire, and that's amazingly useful. That means that you're taking half damage from both dragons and mages who use fire spells. Also, if you want to become a vampire, it's actually really useful, because vampires actually have a -50% resistance to fire. But if you're a Dark Elf, it just means that you'll take normal damage from fire magic. So it really makes it quite effective. You also get a unique power called Ancestry's Wrath. This power can only be used once a day. It basically sets your character ablaze and damages anybody nearby you with 8 points of fire damage per second for 60 seconds. So in total, overall, this ability does 460 damage for its whole duration. And if you're surrounded by 3 enemies, that's a total of 1,440 damage. Also, the power looks pretty damn cool. I actually love the look of it so much that it inspired my Dwarven Machine build, which uses a one-handed weapon and shield, because you can block and also do damage to your enemies. And you can find a link to that build down below in the description. Next, we have number 5. Here we have the natives of Skyrim, fighting for the freedom of Talos worship. The Nords. So the Nords have a natural 50% resistance to frost. And this is actually really useful, because obviously we are in Skyrim. And you may have guessed that this is one of the coldest reaches of Tamriel. Most of the enemies you'll find here, including many of the dragons, deal frost damage to you. So having 50% resistance to frost is obviously going to be really helpful. The Nords also have a unique power called Battle Cry. What this does is make the enemies around you flee for 30 seconds, but it can only be used once per day. The power itself, though, is pretty damn useful. You can use it and then proceed to slash your enemies in the back as they run away. They won't be able to block or even attack back because they're so busy running. So it's actually pretty handy versus everything in the game, be it a mage or a warrior. Next up, at number 4, we have the Ultima, or High Elf. So this race is pretty fantastic actually if you like playing mages. The High Elf has an ability that makes you start with +50 magicka, and this is very, very powerful. Usually you would start the game with 100 magicka, which you need to use as a resource to cast spells. But if you're a High Elf, you start with 150 magicka, so that's a huge increase. Considering also that you can only add 10 points to either stamina, health or magicka every time you level, it would actually take you 5 levels to catch up, and even then you'd probably have less health. Now there are a few ways to get unlimited magicka later in the game, and I'll leave a guide on how to do that down below in the description. But the High Elves also have a unique power called Highball. This allows you to regenerate magicka 25 times faster in combat for 60 seconds. But you can only use it once per day. The ability is very useful because it means you can keep on casting spells. And when you're a mage, that's obviously really important. So the High Elf is a...
I've been thinking about getting a new credit card, but I'm kind of nervous it's going to mess up my credit score before I even apply. Well,
a solid choice for a mage build. Next up, at number 3, we have the Khajiit. Now, aside from being a fan favorite, the Khajiit is actually the best race for an unarmed build. The Khajiit has a unique ability called Claws. That means it can do 12 more damage with its unarmed attacks. So in a total, the Khajiit has an unarmed damage of 22. And now what a lot of people do not realize is that a Dragonbone sword, the best sword in the game, has a base damage of 15. So the best starting weapon in Skyrim is in fact a Khajiit's Fist. And if you want to create your own unarmed build character, I'll leave a link in the description to all my build guides and you can find it there. But anyway, the Khajiit also has a racial power called Night Eye. This ability allows you to see in the dark for 60 seconds. Not only is this really useful, but you can also use it as many times as you want per day. So it's fantastic if you're a thief or a nighttime assassin. In at number 2, we have the Orc. Now, rather interestingly, the Orc has no abilities. So why is so? Why is it in the number 2 spot? Well, my loyal subscribers, it has the unique racial ability called Berserker's Rage. And this is probably the best ability in the game. Once you activate it, you take half damage and you do double damage to everybody else. It's incredible, but it only lasts for 60 seconds and it can only be used once per day. But that said, you can just wait 24 hours in-game and use it again after each major fight. And for that 60 seconds that it's in effect, you will probably kill everyone you need to kill. And it just makes you impossibly hard to kill. And also there's the fact you're doing double damage, which means you can do more damage than any other class in the game. So for example, a sneak attack that would usually do 6 times damage with a one-handed weapon will now do 12 times the damage, which is just really broken. So playing this race is useful in many situations, especially if you're an assassin or a warrior. It also makes legendary difficulty a lot easier if you're stuck on a certain path. You can literally just use this power and you're laughing. So, what's in the number 1 spot? Well, my friends, here at number 1, we have the Breton. The Breton has a 25% resistance to magic. Yes, that's right, a 25% resistance to every spell type in the game, be it frost, shock, or fire spells. It's so useful and it really helps with magic resistance. And it also helps with the different types of dragons that you're going to encounter in Skyrim. You'll find that it synergizes extremely well with the Breton's unique racial ability, which is called Dragon Skin. Once activated, you will absorb 50% of magicka from hostile spells for 60 seconds, but you can only use it once per day. But absorbing 50% magicka is the exact same as 50% magic resistance, but the difference use again for yourself when enemies attack you with spells. I've actually created a build that will allow you to absorb 100% of the magicka used against you, and it pretty much gives you unlimited magicka. Also, there's another trick you can do with the Atronach stone, which is located here on the map. This stone gives you plus 50% magic resistance, and if you also use your racial power for another plus 50% for 60 seconds, you'll get a total of 100% magic resistance for 60 seconds. This means that dragons and mages and anything that uses magic just can't hurt you at all. So it's really, really powerful. So there you have it, guys. The top 10 races in the world of Skyrim. If you want to understand how these races work with the different types of builds, make sure you check out whatever build you're interested down below in the description. And make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And please do like the video if you did find it helpful, guys. Thank you again for watching. My name is ESO, and I will see you, loyal subscriber, in the next Skyrim video guide. Goodbye.
In this video, I'm going to show you how the skills-based leveling system works in Skyrim. And to be clear up front, this guide is aimed at beginners who want to get a fundamental understanding of the system.
I make the best powerful melee in Skyrim class.
How to make the best powerful melee in Skyrim class.
We're just gonna make who I want to make. So you said. Be the one telling me about. Yeah. Here we go.
You from Daggerfall, Breton? Fleeing from some court intrigue? Captain, what should we do? He's not on the list.
Forget the list. He goes to the block.
By your orders, Captain. I'm sorry. We'll make sure your remains are returned to High Rock. Follow the captain, prisoner.
Ulfric Stormcloak. Some here in Helgen call you a hero, but a hero doesn't use a power like the voice to murder his king and usurp his throne. You started this war, plunged Skyrim into chaos, and now the Empire is going to put you down and restore the peace.
What was that?
It's nothing. Carry on.
Yes, General Tullius. Give them
Hey, what's up, man? I was chilling out for a little bit. Chilling out, watching some TV for a little bit.
For the love of Talos, shut up and let's get this over.
Learn as you wish.
Come on! I haven't got all morning.
Yeah, I was just watching some TV, just for a little bit, eating some food.
Death to the Stormcloaks!
Death to
As fearless in death as it was in life.
Next, the Breton!
Oh, that's cool.
Here it is again. Did you hear that?
I said, next prisoner!
To the block, prisoner. Nice and easy.